Is that what we just did, or?
That's what we're doing. The skill we looked at last lesson was just graphing from this form, right, which we've just done there. How much more time do you need to graph? Sketch. How much?
What's the point of doing that?
So everyone knows which graph I'm talking about. If there were multiple on the same axis, that would be important.
Oh,
Less important
even
is
though
only
there's
one.
only the one there.
It's important to label everything. Have you seen those challenges, or not challenges, those stupid problems people put up on Facebook where it goes
Is this like, oh my god, I'm so annoyed. I
minus
saw one
9
of those
divided
at
by
work.
3 times 4, and there's like
Equals this.
World War III breaks out over the answer?
Yeah.
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 You know why these are so frustrating to people who teach maths?
Why?
Because there are actually multiple ways to do it,
Yeah.
and it's up to the person who wrote the problem to communicate how he wants you to solve it. So if I want you to do this first, I would do this. Or if I wanted you to do the other first, I would do this.
Yeah, but if it doesn't have any brackets, then you just follow quad maths
Yes.
and do the 9
Yeah.
by 3
That's right.
first.
Yeah.
And then it breaks out even further where, because this is so open to interpretation, because some people will read it like this, which is how engineers express things, which does actually mean to do that first.
Yeah.
So written like this, technically it does mean to do that first. But because people have different experiences, the person who wrote the problem is being deliberately ambiguous, which is really frustrating. So if you can label stuff to make it as clear as possible what the idea is you're trying to get across, it's all the better.
It's obvious why they're doing it. though.
Yeah, obvious, because they're trying to make World War III break out.
Yes, that's exactly.
That's exactly right. Okay, so we're looking at quadratic inequalities. Now, inequalities, everyone should know, are where you have greater than or less than signs, yeah? Or greater than or equal to. Inequalities deal with this, 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 or this. Can you see the difference of those?
Yeah.
Should I make them, spread them out a bit more?
Yeah.
Yes.
This one, this one, this one, like someone's crying. Or those ones.
An old person crying.
Alright? Those are inequalities. So, when you deal with quadratic inequalities, what we're looking for is where a particular part of the parabola satisfies this rule. Alright? Keep in mind, what we're used to dealing with are where it equals 0, which are where we find the x-intercepts, aren't we?
Yes.
Yeah, that's the level. So if we take that same understanding and apply it to this, alright, it would look something like so. We would go, y is less than the parabola.
Great.
Alright? Most often, you'll find a value there. So it's got an inequality in it now. So where is 0 lower than the green line? Or, if you wanted to read it the other way, where is this bigger than 0?
Isn't it just
Above the
anything
x-axis.
above?
Anything above where? So point,
The
tell me where.
The x-axis.
Anything above here, yeah?
Yeah.
So really, it's anything out here or here. You can see that the green line is above the x-axis, isn't it?
When you say the green line, you mean the actual parabola.
The actual parabola, yeah. This parabola is bigger than that number. You can see that it's above the x-axis outside those points, can't you? Yep. So if this was our inequality that we would be solving, the solution we would write would be x has to be bigger than 2 to come out this way, or x has to be less than -9. Right? If you plug in a value that's bigger than 2, this one, you can see that it's going to give you a y value that's bigger than 0, can't you? If you plug in a value that's less than 2, but bigger than -9, you can see it's going to give you a y value that's less than 0, can't you? Alright? So there are 2 areas. Notice that it's not like solving for a specific solution. There's a whole range of solutions, isn't there? Anything bigger than 2 will satisfy the inequality. Or anything less than -9 will satisfy the inequality. Alright? Notice how there are 2 areas to look at, just like quadratics have 2 solutions. There are 2 areas. Alright, does that make sense? Now, steps that I went through. Notice how I sketched it first. Super important you sketch it first, because once you do, you can just colour in the area you're looking for and then read the information off the graph. So if I'm looking for this section here, I have to go, oh, so for that blue one, x has to be bigger than 2. And for this blue area here, x has to be less than -9. Alright, keep in mind, it's this arm that you're interested in. Where does that go greater than 0? Alright, so, what about this one? What if we were solving it for where 0 is greater than, or the parabola is less than? Where is the parabola less than 0? Where it falls below the x-axis. So for this one, I've sketched it already, and I would shade in this area here. And I would say, how do I get a y value in that area? What x values will I plug in to make the parabola drop below?
In between -9 and 2.
In between -9 and +2. Alright? How do I write that down?
-9
is
the
less than x
x
more than less than 2.
Has to be less than 2.
Oh,
Right.
something like
What do you notice about this solution compared to this solution?
It doesn't go to infinity.
Doesn't go out to infinity. It's clearly bounded by 2 endpoints, isn't it? Can you see that happening on the graph here?
Yeah.
It's only stopping there and there. It cannot go any further. Alright? This one, you cannot write like this. Because this blue region and that blue region are 2 separate regions. Alright? So you have to write them in 2 statements. This one, you can write in 1 statement because that's 1 region with 2 endpoints. Okay? So, over the last however many lessons, we've actually looked at 3 solutions of quadratics. We've looked at solving for where it equals 0, which are just those points there. We're now looking at solving it for where it's greater than 0 or less than 0, which are regions. Alright? So steps you need to follow. You must graph it, which is why this step immediately follows the previous one, which is about sketching. If you choose not to graph it, you will make mistakes because it's very easy